Kamala Khan is an Avengers superfan who goes to Avengers Day with her dad and enters her fanfiction story into a competition there. While there, she meets Thor, Captain America, and Black Widow. At the entrance, she even sees Nick Fury guaranteeing the safety of the Chimera to a reporter, even though Kamala previously overheard Bruce Banner having doubts over the safety of the reactor of the helicarrier that they are on. Kamala finds a nice view of Captain America talking on a panel when an explosion at the Golden Gate Bridge interrupts everything. Captain America sends Tony and Thor to check it out while Natasha preps the Quinjet. Thor and Tony try to clear out the bridge until the others get there. On the way, Natasha spots the Chimera taking flight when it isn't ready. Bruce jumps off and joins the fight on the bridge. Then Natasha goes toe-to-toe with Taskmaster, who appeared out of nowhere. And hell, if it were me, I wouldn't mind Black Widow wrapping her legs around me like that. After beating him, they all realized that it was just a distraction and the Chimera was the actual target of this operation. People were trying to hijack the Chimera while Captain America was on board. He and the Avengers lost communication. Dr. Tarleton tells Steve that the reactor won't stabilize and the helicarrier exploded, with Kamala and her father narrowly escaping the explosion that killed Captain America and thousands more. 5 years had passed from what has come to be known as A-Day. Survivors from the explosion developed supernatural powers. Although S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers vowed to fix this situation, Dr. Banner agreed that they themselves posed a threat to society and are to be blamed for A-Day, so the Avengers were disbanded. Dr. Tarleton survived A-Day and founded Advanced Idea Mechanics, or AIM, and believes science is the solution to their problems. He also says he has no idea what happened to Cap and claims that he was nowhere near the reactor room and that he will find a cure to what has come to be known as the Inhuman disease. An older Kamala Khan who has developed superpowers is trying to track down the Avengers or the Resistance. She found some info on AIM servers. She takes it to her DIY headquarters and finds security footage showing Tarleton locking Cap in as he escaped. Someone online tells Kamala to meet them at the park, so she does. On her way, she sees AIM robots scanning for Inhumans' DNA. But nobody was at the meeting spot, and AIM robots start looking for Kamala. A mysterious figure helps her get away from AIM robots. She gets caught by Tarleton, but luckily she escapes. Knowing she can't go back home because her family would be punished for hiding her, she decides to look for the supposed Resistance, heading for the old S.H.I.E.L.D. base in Utah. Elsewhere, Monica, Tarleton's co-worker, injects him, and he gets incredible power. Meanwhile, Kamala makes it to a canyon, supposedly the Resistance's home base. There she stumbles upon the Chimera. When inside, she runs into our big green angry friend who chased her for a while because Kamala decided to take Cap's shield when she found it in the Chimera. Then Kamala gets caught by AIM robots that followed her here, and Hulk comes to lend her a hand, or fist. Kamala shows Bruce the security footage, and although reluctant at first, he decides to help her find Tony Stark, as they suspect that the Avengers were set up on A-Day. In order to find Tony, they go searching for Jarvis in a research facility Tony puts everything in once Stark Industries went under. They go to the research facility and Hulk destroys it after seeing AIM hurts Inhumans there. Kamala finds Tony's archives and gets Jarvis, but as they were on the way out, they have a run-in with a Killer Croc-looking abomination who works for Tarleton. Hulk smashes his way past him, and they find a video of Monica supposedly curing an Inhuman, but Bruce doesn't buy it. Then they return to the Chimera where Kamala gets her own room. The duo boot up Jarvis, but apparently it was missing a neural uplink. So they call Maria Hill since nobody has seen Fury since A-Day. She sends over the coordinates of the S.H.I.E.L.D. bunker where it is. At the bunker they see a video message from Fury providing S.H.I.E.L.D. protocols. They recover the neural uplink and bring it back to Jarvis at the Chimera, as well as showing the protocols to Commander Hill who can start rebuilding S.H.I.E.L.D. Jarvis found Tony in his ancestral home in Golden Acres, so they head there. When they find Tony, he's still pissed at Bruce for saying that they posed a danger to society, and for giving the world a scapegoat for A-Day. But once he sees the proof that Tarleton killed Cap, which he had already figured out, he decides to join them. After Kamala received a warning from the person that wanted to meet her in the park that AIM nearly found them, they escaped. Tony gets Jarvis to decrypt the files Kamala found on AIM's servers to get more of the security footage. Kamala makes herself a superhero suit, and Tony makes himself his new old suit. Then they try to find parts to get the Chimera airborne. Kamala is frustrated that there is no resistance of Inhumans like her. That's when Ant-Man shows up and introduces Kamala and Bruce to the Resistance in the Anthill. Then they go after an AIM facility to find evidence of their wrongdoings to Inhumans. They were able to look through their research samples while waiting for Tony to get the Chimera to the Anthill so they can go on the offensive. But Kamala finds out from the survivors that there are more Inhumans captive in a prison, but both Bruce and Ant-Man say it's too risky, so she sneaks out by herself. But unsurprisingly, her plan goes sideways and she passes out and gets captured. She overhears Monica and Tarleton discussing that Monica's formula for the cure is killing the Inhumans. Meanwhile, Miss Romanoff, acting as a spy, hears of Kamala being captured and attempts to save her. On her way, she finds a video of Monica extracting an Inhuman's powers, not to cure them, but to give their powers to an adaptoid AIM robot, killing the Inhuman in the process. Natasha confronts Monica, where we find out she was the spy giving intel to Kamala, including attempting to meet her at the park. Natasha wins and S.H.I.E.L.D. agents restrain Monica, then Natasha saves the other prisoners before freeing Kamala, and Tony comes in clutch with the Chimera. However, from the intel Natasha provided Jarvis with, they see AIM has moved many prisoners, so they have to save them. Tony believes that they should show the world the ethical concerns of the so-called cure at Tarleton's unveiling of the adaptoid robot. So Bruce goes to interrogate his ex-girlfriend Monica so they can find the Inhuman prisoner's location so they can be saved before the unveiling, but he failed. AIM attacked the Chimera while Monica escapes, but the Chimera begins losing altitude and it becomes clear Tarleton wants the Avengers to look like terrorists again, as it comes crashing down, but luckily Thor's able to stabilize it. Once they regroup, Jarvis finally encrypts more of the security footage and it showed Cap telling Tarleton to run and lock the door behind him, and Cap smashing the reactor core, causing the explosion. This causes a fight between Tony, who believes Steve must have had a reason, and Bruce, who once again believes that they are to be blamed for A-Day. Angry at the lack of evidence, Kamala looks at the footage of Monica's interrogation and finds out that she said, "You can scour the earth all you want, you will never find the lab." So she figured that it was on the satellite Ambrosia and shows the others, who apologize to each other and make up. Ant-Man provides the Avengers with pin particles to get Tony to the AIM space station. When he arrives, he tries to find and free the Inhuman responsible for Tarleton's power. And that Inhuman turns out to be none other than Captain America. Tony and Steve try to escape as Monica comes out on a screen and says that Tarleton doesn't know that Cap was being used for the cure and attempts to self-destruct the station, but they luckily manage to escape just as it explodes. Cap explains to Tony that he destroyed the core due to an unexpected heat source that would have caused the San Andreas fault to have blown up, which would have killed millions as opposed to thousands. Meanwhile, Tarleton, or MODOK, mobile organism designed only for killing, as he is now known as, finds out Monica has infected his blood with Captain America's, so he kills her with the same serum she gave him. As the Avengers reassemble, Natasha realizes that it was Monica who hired Taskmaster on A-Day, since it can't have been Tarleton, as he didn't even know that Captain America was still alive. AIM are now being more aggressive and are closing in on the Inhumans in New York, and are using the Chimeras and the Avengers' near crash on the city as a reason to kill them, since he can't cure them. An Inhuman prisoner gets a hold of a radio and calls the Avengers, and Jarvis tracks down their location, and the Avengers free them. Now the Avengers go after MODOK, but then he enters a giant Kree sentry, responsible for the heat source on A-Day. Then he seriously injures Hulk with lasers. Kamala comes to his aid, and then she enlarges and takes down the Galactus-looking MODOK. Then the Avengers take Kamala home, where she finally reunites with her father. But in an after-credits scene, we see Monica is still alive, saying that AIM is still the future, meaning that the serum MODOK gave her didn't kill her after all. Thanks for watching. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more video game story summaries, and comment if Marvel's Avengers has lived up to your expectations. Peace out.